Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rachel and you can call me this girl called Rachel. If you're new subscribers, welcome. Thank you for joining the family. And if you're a returning subscriber, you know I always tell you, you guys are the real G. Welcome back. In today's video, we'll be talking about one important topic that I think I should share with you guys, which is cultural shock. What are the things that I find strange when I go to the US? And I think I don't want to do this video alone. Have my friend here. He's also okay. Don't let me introduce him. He's going to introduce himself, and we'll both be talking about cultural shock. It was year before me, I think a year before me, and we'll be talking about the male aspect side of the whole cultural shock, and I'll be talking about the female aspect. So hi Sam,
Hi, Rachel.
it's good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I know we've planned to do this for like the longest,
I
and finally
know.
here we are.
I know. Thank you so much. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My name is Samuel Onyedikachi Isife,
Okay.
and I'm Nigerian, and I'm currently a third year PhD student in the Biology and Biotech graduate program here in WPI.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So let's start with you. So when you got to the US, are there like some things that you find, oh, wait a minute, what is happening here? Because for me, I found a lot. So let's start from you. What are the things?
Yeah, there are like a couple, maybe like a couple of things I've always like noticed,
Okay.
right? Especially as
Yeah.
Nigerian, moving from Nigeria to the US,
Mm-hmm.
they're like a lot different from like the way we do things back home.
Okay.
And I am going to say the first thing I noticed was like the mode of greeting.
Okay.
So this is also like in school and even outside.
Mm-hmm.
In school, first, like your professors do not necessarily need you to like refer them to as their academic titles, like
Okay.
doctor. This, it
Yeah.
was a little weird that you can address professors by just their first names.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a while. I remember I had to like TA a particular class,
Okay.
and the undergraduate students were like referring to the professor as just his name. And it took me a while to just like, get into like calling him
I
his first name
get.
as well, because
Yeah.
in Nigeria, professors are like very strict. You have to address me by my academic title. So that was like one of the very first, shock,
Yeah, I
right?
think that have happened to me too. Like when you talk about emails, like I'll use dear sir, dear this thing, but I think somebody corrected me that you just use then you call the person's name and all that. And the way
Exactly.
you greet, in Nigeria, you have to greet the person like, "Hi, good morning, good morning." This place, sometimes even if you greet them, they just
Yeah.
walk past you like there is no time. Like, okay, what is going on here? Like I
Yeah.
was greeting you, why don't you, I don't know what is going on. So I think, yeah, that's also, I experienced it and it took me a little while to like adjust to it.
Yeah. The second one is, aside from like professors, which you already know, there's like some kind of power dynamics between like professors and students.
Mm-hmm.
With your fellow students, it feels like a little off. Sometimes, like you could meet somebody in class,
Mm-hmm.
you could work with them in like a group project, and you try to like speak to them outside of class,
Mm-hmm.
and they, behave as if they have not met you before. It was something that was so weird. There was this one student who I met in like the grant writing class.
Mm-hmm.
We paired together for like for a particular project, but
Mm-hmm.
outside I was like trying to say hi, and they walked past me as though they've never met me before.
Mm-hmm.
It was something like, because I know that in Nigeria we don't even need to be paired. We just need to meet ourselves in
Yeah,
class.
and you're like,
And
oh,
exactly, and the
yeah,
next time I see you, I start hiring you or haying you
that's just
as
it.
though I've met you like all my life. So it
Yeah,
was a very huge shock for me. It was a huge shock for me.
me too, me
And
too.
in addition, some other people just like people you've not met before try
Uh-huh.
to like greet you, and they do this very funny thing where they smile for like a very brief period.
Oh my god, that's no, sometimes I just want to like, can you just stop it? I don't need you to smile.
Yeah,
That is fake.
exactly. It actually, at the first time, it creeped me out. Like I was like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah.
Sometimes I've never met anybody, like I've never met you before,
Mm-hmm.
but then you see me and you go like,
Mm-hmm. and that's it. It
And then
disappeared
like it disappears
like
in like a
in a
twinkle of
little
an eye. Exactly. Like I'm like, if you want to smite me and ask me
Right.
how I am doing, right?
Yeah.
But it creeped me out a little while. But
Mhm.
even in church, because I attend the Catholic church here, but
Mhm.
then I asked somebody one time, like, what was the smile all about? And someone said you were trying to like make you feel comfortable
Comfortable.
and
Yeah.
welcome. I'm like, okay, if it's about comfortability and making me feel welcome, okay, maybe I
Yeah.
understand it. But it was
Yeah.
a little weird having to
Yeah.
just like do and in the twinkle of an eye, all of that smile. It was
Yeah.
giving, I don't want to use the Gen Z, it was giving fake.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
think my own would be like the moment I step into the US and somebody came to pick me, and I started seeing like the houses are built with wood. I was like, what?
Exactly.
In Nigeria, like the
We use
bricks
concrete.
and all that. I was like,
Exactly.
but here, although yeah, they use the bricks like
Mm-hmm.
concrete for the foundation, but everywhere, like
It's made with
even you are
wood.
in the room, you can
Yeah.
literally hear what somebody else is doing in the other room.
Yeah.
It's just there's
It's
no
there's
privacy
no
unless you're
privacy.
staying in your own house. Even with that, I just feel like,
You know,
what is
whenever
this?
my roommates like tries to like go down,
Mm-hmm.
we stay upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
like the house shakes.
My God.
It's so annoying. The house shakes. Like I don't know how much like the reinforcement for the foundation of the house is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much that is,
Yeah.
but I know that it's carrying us for the time being.
Yeah.
But it was a culture shock to see that
Yeah.
away from like Nigerian houses, our houses are made with bricks,
Yeah.
with cement,
Yeah.
and I think they are stronger. But here you
Yeah.
can punch a hole into the walls of some of the houses we
Mm.
have here.
But yeah, but I still believe that it's still strong
It
because in some
Yeah,
way it's still strong because even in Nigeria, even with the bricks,
yeah.
you can hear that
Some
houses
of
are
them are
collapsed.
cracked,
Yeah, and
cracking.
all that.
But something else I also started thinking about is that the weather condition here
Mm-hmm.
necessitates them to build their house in a particular pattern.
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what, like, for example, some of
Yeah.
the houses you that they knock their, like, they fix their ceilings in like a slant way so that
Yeah.
like when it snows, like I think it falls
Yeah.
off. Like
You're right. You're
that was
right.
something like I realized
You're
as
right.
well.
You're right. Uh what did I think? I think the next thing is I'm taking it from where when I entered. The next thing
Yeah.
is when I went to buy stuff, and I see that for every thing I pick, there's like a little tax. So like
Yeah.
it's not the
Okay.
final, like if I okay, this is not they will still add like tax.
Tax
Like
to it.
there's always tax with everything. Everything you buy in the US, you are paying tax for
Tax.
it,
Yeah.
which is like this is not what is it in Nigeria. Like I just buy
Yeah.
my things and I don't know. Was
The
it
thing is that I think you pay some kind of informal tax in Nigeria.
oh
Like
okay.
if you go to, we operate some kind of open markets in Nigeria, and
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
we have malls as well.
Yeah.
If you go to the malls in Nigeria, you see like the taxes. We pay what we call value added tax.
Mm-hmm.
Before I left Nigeria, it was about like 7.5%, and
Mm-hmm.
the Nigerians were like crying because it was
Mm-hmm.
like very high.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I think it's going up to like 15% with
15%,
all
yeah.
of the economic
Mm-hmm.
breakdown and all.
Yeah.
So you can see that, but when you go out to like open markets,
Mm-hmm.
you don't see the taxes.
Yeah.
But then they could be reflecting in ways you don't
No.
notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes there's hike in a particular food product,
Yeah.
and then but you don't know because you feel like, oh, it's the open market. You can always price as well, right?
Uh,
Even when they tell you that this is a particular price, you can
yeah,
always
it's
beat
this,
it down.
yeah.
Yeah, you can
Well,
price negotiate.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Do you also want to say another one?
I think something else would be the fact that you cannot be a fully functional person in the US without owning a car. You can't be a
Say that again.
you can't be a fully functional person, and like that blows my mind literally.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that in Nigeria, like I trek a lot,
Mm-hmm.
not like a lot, but I do
Yeah.
some amount of trekking, and it's a form of exercise for me.
Mm-hmm.
But here, not many people trek. People trek here, they put it as like, oh, they are exercising.
Yeah.
But it's like a normal thing for me back home. Like I could
Mm.
trek to my church.
Mm-hmm.
But here, everybody is like in their cars. If you don't
Yeah.
have a car, you can't survive.
Mm-hmm.
I know that largely it's due to like the weather conditions as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Like during the winter, you don't want to be walking in the cold. It's
Oh
like
God.
terrible.
Hey.
You know how
The talk of it is giving me headache in my head. Like another winter is coming and I don't
yeah,
have
yeah,
a car
yeah.
yet, but he
Yeah.
has a car. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, you know how like how we survived like this past winter.
My God.
It was a
Sounds
lot. Yeah,
so
yeah.
far.
Yeah. So I know that, yeah, you have, for you to be like a fully functional like person in the
Mm-hmm.
US, or maybe specifically here in the North Massachusetts, you
Yeah.
need to have a car. It's
Yeah.
not even like a luxury at this point. It's a
Yeah. Is this
necessity. Like you
exactly?
have to have a car.
Exactly.
Sometimes the weather is so bad. Like for example, this is the summer and it's so hot,
Hot. Yeah.
and the sun. I know that we have sun in Nigeria. Like we come from a temperate region,
Mm-hmm.
but the sun here
It's,
hits. It penetrates
it
your
penetrates
skin. Like
and it
you
makes you
have
tired easily.
easily. Yeah, it makes you tired. Like you ruins your. If you
Yeah.
trek from here back home now, like you be so
God.
exhausted
Yeah.
and all of your day is gone because
Yeah.
the next thing you'll be looking for is just like retiring to your bed.
Yeah. You're
So
right.
it's one thing I found like as a culture shock.
Uh,
People have to like
okay.
own cars. You have to own
If
cars
you're
to do.
preparing to come to the US, just know this. Prepare yourself. If you need, like, if you know how to drive, just make sure you come with your driving license because it also will help you with your insurance. It should reduce a bit if you have like history of driving. You understand? So
Yeah,
make sure that you come with your insurance, your driving license. Or if you don't know how to drive, also like try to learn it. It should also help you. Right?
yeah.
Think idea. Yeah. Another thing is the amount you pay for air. Making air in this country is expensive. Like this, I'm not going this year. I've only make my air like once. Even with
Wow.
that, when I know that my friend helped me, because $200 for just one. Do you know how much $200 is in Naira? I always calculate it every time. It's somebody's salary for whole year. I'm not capping in Nigeria. We know that. I'm not basically in Nigeria, but yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so expensive. Why will I make a one sitting $200, $150? It's always if I know. Oh God, I don't know about guys babbing of air,
Yeah,
but
like it's also like on the high side when
uh
you want
huh.
to cut your hair, like you get from like $40, but it's not as bad as like we have to
Mhm.
like barb like regularly. It's like for someone like me that my hairline is already like
Mhm.
receding.
Mhm.
But then the only thing that makes it easier for me
Yeah.
here is because they have like a barbing school,
Okay.
right? So when you go to barbing schools, it's like relatively cheap in barbing schools.
Okay.
But you are really just being used as like a mannequin in the
Mhm.
barbing school. So it's like you know what you're signing up for. You're going to
Yeah.
play around with your head.
Mhm.
But for the most part, they've been
Mhm.
giving me nice haircuts.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
they've been
But
giving me
even
nice
with that
haircuts.
amount, like you know how much is
Yeah,
sorry,
but
I'm still not used to like not converting the dollar to naira,
yeah,
right? But yeah.
but in the driving school is like $6 to
Oh
cut your hair. Yeah.
wow. Wow,
Then you
that's
know that in America, like we have to talk about it, the
yeah.
tipping culture.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah,
to
yeah. I
tip.
want to say
Oh
there.
my god, you have to tip.
I'm always like, especially when I order for something, literally, maybe what I order for is like $15. You have to also like tip, and by the time you add everything, like what? Or
Why
when
do
you
I
go,
have to pay you for doing your job? You are literally doing your job. You are doing your job, but then if you don't tip, it's something that they take very seriously here. And I've
yeah,
also seen people complain about it on Twitter.
yeah,
The thing is that the tipping culture in the US is absolutely insane.
it is,
It is
it
insane that
is,
ah,
and they make it look like
they are
it
right.
is their right.
That's the annoying
We
thing.
understand that yeah, maybe they are working, but they are not paying them as much as they
Then
should.
they should take it
But
with the labor unions, form unions. That's the way like things work. You form trade and labor unions,
like
and you can always like vent your grievances to them so that they can
exactly.
improve working conditions and provide you living and wages.
Oh my god.
But then leaving that particular burden on the consumers, on the
It's
customers,
it's
it's
not
not
nice.
right.
I remember
I
one
can't
day I
get used
wanted
to
like
it.
I'm like I'm not going to add any tip to the like I wanted to order
Yeah.
for food. I was like because you're not adding tip, your order may be delayed. I was like what? Why? Because I'm not adding tips. No, it is crazy.
It's crazy. It's absolutely
So,
insane. Like most of the times, I'm
yeah.
beginning to get used to it. That's the thing. One time
Yeah.
once you like get into like a
hmm
particular place, for you to like be functional as well, you have to
Yeah.
start like imbibing the culture,
hmm
start learning exactly how things are being done, and start like
Yeah.
flowing like that.
Flowing. Yeah.
So I am used to the tipping thing. Like most of the time when I order from DoorDash, I
Yeah.
leave tips for them. At
Yeah.
first, I was not checking it. I DoorDash will automatically just put $4. I'm like, wow,
hmm
why do I have to pay that much, but sometimes at least I leave a $2, $3 tip, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
$4, depending on the distance the person is
Yeah.
bringing the stuff to.
Most times from $1 to $2 for me.
Yeah, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's something.
Yeah.
One time, like the lab, we went to the fix not so far from here,
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to get burgers. And after we finished ordering, I noticed that they bring in sleeves for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and every other person, they are like US citizens
Mm-hmm.
or permanent residents. They
Mm-hmm.
like they've been here way before me,
Mm-hmm.
so they after putting in their whatever bills they are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to pay,
Mm-hmm.
there's a space for you to like add your tip.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, when it first came, I didn't add tip because I
Mm-hmm.
thought tipping was like optional.
Mm-hmm.
If you find a service to be spectacular, if you find it amazing, you can
Mm-hmm.
decide to like tip.
Tip, yeah.
That's the way we do it in Nigeria. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, take
Yeah,
for
yeah.
good services.
Mm-hmm.
But every other person did the same thing. And when we were leaving, the man literally chased us out. And we're like, somebody did not put in their tip. And I'm like, what? And my lab mate was like, yeah, yeah, you
Wow.
need to put tip. I'm like, why do I
Wow.
have to put tip? They're
Wow.
like, yeah, you have to put tip.
Yeah.
And the person was like, yeah, I have to put tip. I had to go down and write something because they
Wow.
had to like deduct it from my card
Yeah.
details. I already
Yeah.
provided my card details.
Yeah. Wow.
There was also another experience. I
Yeah.
went to like a plaza that was somewhere like in Shrewsbury.
Mm-hmm.
My friend and I, we had beer. Then
Mm-hmm.
after having beer, like this one was, they didn't even ask us to like include
Yeah.
the tip. They
They just
added
put
the tip themselves. You're like, it's 25% of whatever
what?
we bought.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
that was a lot. But yeah, he just told me that I'm not going to be going there next time. I'm not going to be
Wow,
going there
that's
next
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Tipping is
Tipping
crazy. Yeah.
culture. Yeah.
So the next thing I think I want to go to educational part of it is
Okay.
like schoolwork. Like in Nigeria, no, when I came, I was still trying to like adapt,
Yeah.
but at some point it was like, what am I doing here? I'm inside the ocean and I don't know even know how to swim or anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how people say it, like especially maybe when you're coming from African country, like, oh, your resilient spirit is so
Yeah.
this thing and this, but when you get here, the workload,
Yeah.
I don't even know. Sometimes it's not even how intelligent you are, it's just how you're able to like show up. I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, like that is question your mental
Yeah.
health and all that.
I know that we don't have the best working or like best conditions,
Mm-hmm.
like with going to school in Nigeria, but
Mm-hmm.
it was still like bearable
Mm-hmm.
compared to like here.
Mm-hmm.
That resilience that people talk about having in Nigeria or like
Mm-hmm.
in any other part of Africa,
Mm-hmm.
it is here that you see it.
Yeah.
It is here that
It is
you would
here.
like you show
It
that
is here.
resilience.
It is here.
Because the amount of pressure that come with schooling in this school, I don't
Oh my
know.
God.
Maybe it's just WPI specific. Maybe it's this school specific. But
I don't think so.
we hear it
Because,
from other people,
other
right?
people. But
Like,
even if you are not in WPI,
yeah,
raise to power
part two, like it's the academic this thing is so fast paced.
Yeah.
Like you are bombarded. Like you get choked.
Yeah.
And the weather does not help.
Yeah.
The weather does not help too,
Yeah.
because sometimes when it gets during the winter comes with like mood swings. You are moody, you are depressed, and you have to know how to cheer yourself up to survive schooling in the US.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's
Just
not
try
easy.
to
It's
brace
so,
up because you're going to enter into a new phase of your life. If you are coming or you're preparing to like apply to schools in the US, you're going to enter into a new phase that it's only take a while for you to like try to adjust. Even people that are here, that have been here for a while, they're still trying to adjust because it's not always the same.
Yeah.
It's not always like you have a lot. I don't even know how to put it, but there's no work, there's no balance. Like your life is always like this in the US. So that's another thing I found shocking.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I know people talk about like during the winter you have to like take vitamin D supplements because especially for we that are like melanated, we need to take vitamin D so that we can like survive because there's a connection between it somehow.
Yeah. I think another thing is the food. Like we have a lot of food. Like and everything is big. I remember when I saw the food, the bell pepper, the tomatoes, and like, fresh. Everything is because like, oh wow, amazing.
Amazing, but I was not impressed. But it was a little shocking, but I was not impressed because I've already like taking classes in genetic engineering, right, in Nigeria. So I know that the US, like a lot of their food are like genetically modified as well. So it was shocking, but I was like, I know this is like GMO. Because sometimes you see like the fresh tomatoes we get, for example, from Price Right, when I take it back home, it can stay for like 2-3 days and it's still like that. But the ones we get in Nigeria, you know, they are fresh out from the farms. And they are perishable products. They like opening in the cell wall will deteriorate so fast that the you see the food products are deteriorating. This is natural food.
Natural food. And I think it's also have like, I don't know, but some effect on our health, like because it's GMO. And like I don't know.
You may not you may not see
but there's a way. Exactly. You see, like people consider like, oh, you're adding weight. It's because they're introducing new thing into their body. And we just don't know how everything. But it's I don't know.
Something else is like a lot of the food you get in the restaurants, like why do they have like lots of sugar? Like a lot of the food. When I first came, I almost cried. Like I know that we used to be very careful with like sugary food in Nigeria. Like people were like, oh, it has a lot of sugar, this and that. So but it has lots of sugar and no pepper.
Sugar, anything that is going to kill you, they are the cheapest. Like they are very cheap.
In grocery stores.
Yeah, because I remember one day I was like, oh, I found kilichi. I was like, oh, and I started eating that thing called kilichi. I don't know. They call it beef this thing. And if you see the amount of sugar, I said, oh my God.
Here in the US.
Yeah, I've forgotten the name.
Like jerk chicken.
I don't know. I think they sell it at, they're saying that. I don't know. But it's something like kilichi. They made it like kilichi.
Yeah.
But when the sugar, I was like, what else are you not putting sugar?
A lot of the food has sugar. The cookies, you know, normally when you make those cookies, there's sugar already in the cookies. But then when they bring it out, they like sprinkle sugar on it as well.
A lot.
Yeah, and this brings me to another point where like if you are ever invited to an event and they say there's food, as an African or a Nigerian person, just please eat at home.
Just eat at home because
please.
You're going to be angry.
Eat at home.
You know when you're hungry and you're angry.
Please eat at home. Whenever like they say, oh, we are inviting you for an event, there's going to be food.
Oh my God.
They are probably coming to see like cookies,
soda,
maybe
burger. Even the burger self is.
They might bring in like the vegetarian one where they use leaves. To do. Just eat.
Just eat.
There will be no jollof rice. There will be no this thing. Sometimes they might bring like maybe bacon and cheese. Like I know Americans like they love cheese. But please, as a Nigerian person or African person, or even if you are somebody from like any other country, eat at home.
Eat at home.
Eat at home. Eat to your satisfaction.
I'm telling you.
Eat to your satisfaction.
Is there any other one? I can't think of any other one right now.
Yeah, I can't exactly think of any other one as well.
Yeah, well, I just want you to know, like, there are a lot of cultural shock, like, that you're going to experience, and it only take a while for you to, like, adapt to the new environment, new system, and just know you'll be fine. I mean,
for the most part,
you'll be fine. It can be a lot of roller coaster thing, but at the end of the day, you'll be fine. And
I think one thing is socialization as well. Socialization is hard in the US. Socialization is hard, but I know that it's not just about like the people. It's about the weather. The weather just limits. It's limiting. In Nigeria, like a way we are able to like escape so many like psychological problems that we face in the US, because myself, I've been depressed. Many people have also talk about them being depressed. It's no longer like in Nigeria, like if I tell you that I'm depressed, like what do you mean you're depressed?
Exactly.
But here, I did not even just, it was clinical diagnosis, like you are depressed. The doctor told me like you are severely depressed. But the thing is that I think in Nigeria we had a way of like going, like escaping from some of these psychological problems. It's socialization. In church, right? It's not just a place to pray, it's a place to socialize. In schools, it's not just a place to play, you socialize, right? In schools, you know, you see friends, you make new friends.
There are a lot of activities that will make you like connect with people.
So socialization and making friends in the US is very, very hard.
It's hard.
they are overly reliant. Even your dating life self will
Yeah.
change. They're overly reliant on dating apps.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know how like in Nigeria you can like literally just go to
Yeah.
an event and you meet
Yeah, with
people there.
somebody. Yeah. Yeah.
Here you
It's
are reliant on like dating apps to
yeah.
see new people,
Mm-hmm.
even to meet friends. Like
Yeah.
it's hard, but I heavily blame that on the weather.
Weather. Yeah.
On the weather, I
You're
heavily blame
right.
on the weather. The weather
Yeah.
makes it very hard.
Yeah.
I know this summer is like the time people get to like go out a lot.
Yeah.
Even African communities here, this is the
Mm-hmm.
time that they get to like hold
Oh
their
yeah.
events.
Mm-hmm.
But aside this period, when it
Mm.
gets to like those school areas, everybody's like alele inside your house. You have to be inside your house.
Exactly. Oh
You have to be
God.
inside your house. And I don't blame them. It's
Yeah.
cold and you have to be warm inside your
Yeah.
house. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for
Of
coming.
course.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
really appreciate.
Right.
And also, I think with this, I know there are other things that we didn't mention, but I
Yeah.
mean, with these few points that we've shared with you, just know if you're coming, like try to prepare yourself before you enter so that it's not going
Yeah.
to eat you by surprise. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you're planning to apply to schools, like, oh, I have a lot of videos like for you to help you guide you to apply. So yeah, we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe. See you the next time. Thank you guys. Bye.